Tinubu on fuel subsidy removal. UNICEF calls for implementation of child protection law in Kano State. At least 300 children rescued from Sudan orphanage. Today is 19th Zulqa'dah 1444 after the Hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to 8th June 2023. I am Salamatu Elimanu, the news in full. Nigerian governors have supported President Bola Tinubu's decision to end fuel subsidy payments in the country. The governors who spoke during a visit to the presidential villa expressed happiness at the president's subsidy removal decision, all-inclusive leadership and statesmanship. The Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak led Governors Forum commended President Tinubu for tackling the fuel subsidy behemoth, promising to work with him to ameliorate the short-term impact of the decision. The governor also assuring the president of their support in the preferring solution through the National Economic Council. In his remark, President Bola Tinubu urged the governors to downplay their differences and jointly focus on alleviating the suffering and pains of the people. President Tinubu said that the nation should be seen as one big family, adding that good governance will safeguard the future of democracy. In another development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with the All Progressive Congress APC senators-elect, members-elect, APC governors and leaders of the party over leadership election issues as the inauguration of the 10th Assembly draws closer. The meeting was held at the Presidential Villa Abuja yesterday night after the winding down of the 19th Assembly earlier in the day. The president appealed to the lawmakers to support the candidates endorsed by his party for the leadership positions at the Senate and House of Representatives. He spoke on the need for the APC lawmakers to work for the victory of the APC's candidate for the 10th NAS leadership. The president therefore urged them to work for the emergency of Godwin Akpabio, Senator Barrow Jibrin, Tajuddin Abbas, and Kalu, saying that the candidates were chosen by the party for the stability of the nation. Aspirant for the speakership, Mukhtar Bitare, Yusuf Adamu Gagdi, Miriam Onoha, and Sada Soli attended the meeting. However, the Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris Wasi and Aminu Sani Jaji, who were also vying for the seat, were conspicuously absent despite being invited for the meeting. It will be recalled that the party had endorsed Abbas Tajuddin and Benjamin Kalu as candidate for Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, respectively. The federal government has declared Monday as a public holiday in commemoration of the June 12th Democracy Day. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Dr. Oluwatoyin Akinlade, announced this in a statement issued today. The statement said federal government, while congratulating Nigerians on the occasion, stated that the country's democratic journey has encountered stormy and smooth sails just like in many other climes. Permanent Secretary wishes all Nigerians a happy Democracy Day celebration. To recall that former President Muhammadu Buhari had set aside June 12 as Democracy Day in his second and final term in office. Previously, it was marked on May 29th. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the National Economic Council, led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, to begin the process of working on interventions to cushion the impact of subsidy removal on Nigerians. This is even as the independent major oil marketers have pledged to donate no fewer than 100 high-capacity buses to the federal government for mass transit operations. The sharing news was dropped by the governor of Ogun State, Dakwa Abiodun, who led the representative of some major oil marketers on a courtesy visit to President Bola Tinubu yesterday at the presidential villa Abuja. Addressing State House correspondent after the closed-door meeting, Governor Dakwa Abiodun said the marketers were in the presidential villa to express solidarity with the president for his bold decision to end the subsidy regime. He noted that Bola Tinubu's action showed his determination and courage to remove the hemorrhage that had bedeviled the country for decades. The president of the Senate, Dr. Ahmed Lawal, yesterday announced that the Senate has rescheduled its valedictory session from today to Saturday, June 10th. The Senate president told members of the Senate press corps that the shift in the date was due to a scheduled meeting today of the president, Bola Tinubu, with lawmakers of the incoming 10th National Assembly. Ahmed Lawal also hinted that the 10th Senate will be inaugurated on Tuesday, June 13th. Meanwhile, the Ninth House of Representatives yesterday wound down passing 510 bills and 2,000 motions in 4 years. The chairman, House Committee on Rules and Businesses, Abubakar Hassan Flata of APC from Jigawa State, said these at the valedictory session. Speaking of the House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila and other members who spoke rated the performance of the Ninth House very high. The chairman, Independent and Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Professor Bolaji Owusanoye, has described corruption as a dream killer that must be fought to a standstill by the youth. The chairman, represented by Ali Goni Gujba, board member ICPC, said this yesterday in Abuja at the maiden edition of the Commission's Inter-School Debate for Tertiary Institutions in the Federal Capital Territory and Nasarawa State. The ICPC boss described the youth as the leaders of tomorrow who needed to fight corruption with great rigor for them to achieve the desired goal. In a speech, the chairman of Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC), Abdurrashid Bawa, charged the youth to contribute their quota towards a Nigerian free of economic and financial crimes. Abdurrashid Bawa, represented by Chidinma Amanambu, Assistant Commander EFCC, charged them to contribute their quota towards ending bribery and corruption. The news is coming to you from the studios of Cyber Radio. More news after the short break. Stay tuned.
This is News on the Hour, Cyber Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're on to the services of Cyber Radio 104.9 Hadija. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has announced a policy that will require Nigerian pilgrims in Medina to be moved to Mecca from 5 days they arrive in the city for the Hajj pilgrimage. The Commission's Deputy Director of Information, Musa Ubandawaki, in a statement yesterday said the rule, which will take effect from today, was due to complaints of overcrowding of Nigerian pilgrims in the city of Medina. Musa Ubandawaki said that while the Commission is giving 100% opportunity for Nigerian pilgrims to visit Medina in the first phase or before Arafat, the move was to avert sanctions against the country if there are pilgrims overcrowding Medina. He said that the policy was to avoid being penalized for airlifting more pilgrims into Medina than the available accommodation or being forced to take the pilgrim to another area which is well below the standard of the current Markaziyya. He called for the understanding and support of the pilgrims, Hajj officials and other stakeholders for the successful implementation of the policy. The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund has praised the recent enactment of the Child Protection Law signed into law by former Governor Omar Ganduje of Kano State. The chief of UNICEF Field Office in Kano, Rahama Farah, said the Kano State Child Protection Law is a remarkable achievement that benefits the children and people of Kano. He further urged the new administration in Kano State to take vital steps and provide adequate resources to ensure comprehensive enforcement of the law. The law also encompasses provisions for education, healthcare, and social support to promote children's overall development. Child protection organizations and civil society groups have hailed the enactment of the law as a crucial step in safeguarding the rights of children in Kano State. They are optimistic that its effective implementation will bring about positive change and create a safer and more inclusive environment for children to thrive. The Council of Hadejia Local Government met with the local trade unions, community and security officials on how to solve environmental and security issues. The chairman of Hadejia Local Government, Alhaji Abdulkadir Umar, urged the members of the group to cooperate in solving the environmental problems in the market. He said that the local government is ready to provide all support to clean the market and ensure security. Abdulkadir Umar further added that it is a time to end annual flood during the rainy season. The meeting comes 3 days after World Environment Day and the continuation of preparation to welcome the monsoon to avoid annual floods. While speaking, the leader of the various business associations thanked the Hadejia Local Government Council for organizing the meeting and listening to their complaints. Still in Jigawa State Governor Malam Umar Namadi has inaugurated a 32-member committee to review and appraise the Jigawa State and Local Government Contributory Pension Scheme Board. Inaugurating the committee, Malam Umar Namadi said members of the committee were selected based on competency, dedication, and personal integration. Represented by the Deputy Governor, Engineer Aminu Usman, the governor said government is confident that members of the committee will discharge their responsibilities diligently. Part of the terms and reference of the committee is to look into the position of the current pension fund status to survive its survival or otherwise, recommended a remedy to present the challenges of the funds, among others. Responding, the chairman of the committee and former head of the civil service, Mustafa Aminu, assured the governor that they will justify the confidence reposed on them. Now to weather reports.
For the weather forecast, Duza tomorrow, God willing, will be 35 degrees Celsius and partly sunny. Hadija will be 35 degrees Celsius with sunshine and patchy clouds. Gumel tomorrow will be 36 degrees Celsius and partly sunny. Ringim is going to be 35 degrees Celsius and partly sunny. While Kano will be sunny at 34 degrees Celsius. Guru in Yobe State will be 36 degrees Celsius and partly sunny. Kaduna will be 27 degrees Celsius and partly sunny. Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, will be at 26 degrees Celsius with some rain and thunderstorm. Moving on to Niger Republic, its capital Niamey will be at 39 degrees Celsius and very warm. It has been Umusama Adam Iko, Sawaba Radio.
Thank you, Musalma Iko, for that. Now to international scene. Massive fires are burning an area of Sudan's capital that houses an army factory following clashes between paramilitary rapid support forces (RSF) fighters and the army. Images of the blazes in the Yamok area in the west of the city are being posted on social media and are visible on satellite images. The RSF said it had taken control of the area where there are a number of factories, a military complex, as well as oil and fuel storage facilities. It blamed the armed forces for attacking the area and causing the infernos. Sudan's armed forces have not commented officially on the fighting there. Aid agencies in Sudan said at least 300 children have been safely rescued from an orphanage in Sudan's capital, Khartoum. The children had been staying at the Maigoma orphanage, where more than 70 children are reported to have died from hunger and illness since the conflict in Sudan broke out in mid-April. According to the International Committee of the Red Cross, the orphanage was in an area of the city where the conflict has been raging. Aged between 1 month and 15 years, the 297 children have been taken to Wad Madani, about 200 kilometers, 125 miles from the Khartoum. United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, says it is working with the relevant authorities in identifying foster families. That has been the news, but before I go, a recap of the major stories. From the news, we all heard Nigerian governors support President Bola Tinubu on fuel subsidy removal. UNICEF calls for implementation of child protection law in Kano State. At least 300 children rescued from Sudan orphanage. That has been the news about the news department. Our editor, Haruna Ahmed Bulsua. I am Salamatu Aliman saying good night.